It is once again time to haul some books because I have a problem at this point. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For a Positive Book. I make bookish videos over here on my little corner of the internet, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and down below. I have books. I have books to haul. There's a lot of them. It's fine. There's 15, 16 books, something like that. Not all of them are going on my TBR, but some of them are. So let's talk about it. At the end of last month, I had 267 books on my unread TBR, which is a lot of books. I have come to that conclusion, okay? It's fine. We're not going to talk about it. I did read 11 books off of my owned TBR. That number actually might change because I am filming this like a day early and I don't know how many I'm actually going to read. We're going to go with 11, okay? If it changes, it changes. So that brings us down to 256. I can do math. I am going to be filming an unhaul after this, so that number will go down again. I'm thinking at least 20, so we'll be, you know, a little closer. But I'm actually reorganizing all of my shelves and I wanted to film my haul first so that way I had room for all of these things. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's talk about the books that I have already read. And then we will move on to the ones that are moving into the TBR. First up, I'm definitely in my romantasy era, and so I bought and read a couple of the Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers series to go along with the Slaying the Vampire Conqueror that I already own. So these two I have already read, so Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Scher and Slaying the Frost King by Candace Robinson and Elle Beaumont. This was a 5-star, this was a 1-star, but I'm still keeping it because it's part of series and it's pretty. So don't at me, it's fine. I also bought and read Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I'm trying to get used to this new camera and the lighting, so I apologize that it's so bright. I'll fix it in editing. I'll try. Maybe we do that. There we go. That's a little better. Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I read this during Ramathon. I give it 3.5 stars. It was fine. It wasn't everything that I was hoping it would be, but it does have really good ADHD rep, and that's something that I am always looking for in books, so I do really appreciate that. And I'll continue on with the series because I've heard good things about the second one as well. I purchased and read At Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. You'll see why here in a bit. The publisher sent me a finished copy of the second book, but I hadn't read the first one yet, so I purchased this one on Pango, and I did read this one this month, and I had a good time with it. I read this during Peace Talks, so I have a whole vlog for it if you want to check it out. And then a book that I had read previously, I read it last year during Smut Den, but wanted a physical copy of it, and that is Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is the novella that goes between Serpent and the Wings of Night and Ashes and Star Cursed King. This book just got picked up traditionally. The two had already, like, the novels had been picked up traditionally, but they just announced that this one did, and so I wanted to pick up the indie cover because, I mean, like, she gorgeous. She's so pretty, but I have already read this, but now I just wanted to, like, complete the collection. So now I'm pretty sure I own everything that Carissa Broadbent has written. Pretty sure. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But this is, like, part of the vampire romance, and it's kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And I haven't read Ashes, but I know that these characters in this one show up in that book. All right, now let's talk about the books that I haven't read yet. The ones that are going to be going on this TBR. I have projects for some of them, so I definitely will be reading them sooner rather than later. But these are going on the TBR. There are two books that when I was watching February wrap-ups for two different creators, I immediately went on to Pango and bought these books because they sounded so good. Even though, like, these creators did not give these books 5 stars, but the things that they were saying in their video were buzzwords for me. They interested me, and I sold a lot of books on Pango in the past month, so I had a lot of Pango bucks to spend. So I did that. So the first one is The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. This was sold to me like as Scandal, the show, and which is one of my favorite shows ever. I love that one. But as a romance. And so it's a woman who, like, her husband is a congressman or a senator or something, or is running for election, and he cheats on her, on, like, our main character, but like she ends up staying with him for like just like publicity sake, but then she ends up having, like, her own affair, maybe, question mark, I don't know, but, like, Tia Williams blurbed it, which is always a great thing. I'm excited about it. It's very short. This is actually one that I will probably be reading in the next couple of weeks. And this one was on Chandler's February wrap-up, and I was immediately excited. And then this one was on Murphy's wrap-up, and that is Into the Sunken City by Dinesh Thru. I've been trying to find some sci-fi books, and climate fiction is always a subgenre of sci-fi that I'm really excited about and I really enjoy. So I'm wanting to get more into this. This is YA, and this is about a city in Arizona where the rain never stops. In the slowly sinking city of Conosino, Arizona, the days are long, the money is tight, and the rain never stops. For Jen Haldar, this life is nothing new. Ever since her father died in the diving accident, she's barely made ends meet for her and her younger sister. Enter Billy, a drifter who offers Jen and Tara the score of a lifetime, a massive stash of gold hidden in the sunken ruins of Las Vegas. Jen knows it's too dangerous. She stopped diving after her father's accident, but when her sister decides to go, Jen's left with only one choice: to go with her. A ragtag crew is assembled, including Jen's annoyingly hot ex-boyfriend. From there, a high-stakes heist ensues that's beyond even Jen's wildest dreams. I know it's YA, but it sounds interesting. It kind of reminds me of like The Final Six, that sci-fi book. Obviously that's space, but same idea. I will be reading this at some point. There's a video project coming. And then I picked up Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. This is a adult romance novel. It has a accidental pregnancy, but that's like the point of the book. Like, it happens at the beginning. And so I think that one might actually work for me. And a couple people read it over the past couple weeks and really enjoyed it and were surprised by it. And so, also the cover. It's just so cute. I'm still getting glares. So sorry. The cover is so pretty. It's so spring. So I bought this as a reward for myself because I got a new certification at work and I had to take a test and all that fun stuff, and I thought I needed a book after that. You know, we use any type of reasoning. All right. This is A Promise of Paro. Let me take this out. This was sent to me by Berkeley, so thank you so much for sending this to me. I'm really excited to continue on with this series. I really liked Dawn of Onyx, and I really want to continue the series. So this is the second one in this. It's also like an absolutely gorgeous cover, and like also putting them together, like they're so pretty. The spines, it's gonna look so good on my shelves. You get the stones here. I'm here for it. This book, while being a fantasy romance, I think the series definitely leans more into like the fantasy aspect of it, and it has a much bigger plot to it than just the romance. Obviously the romance is a big deal in this, but there's also external features happening, which I think is what I like in fantasy romance, is when there are these extra characteristics to it. Okay, so after reading Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Scher, I fell in love with her writing, and everyone else was reading Blood and Steel. So I purchased it. Did I read it in March? No, but also it wasn't a whole lot of points for my team, so that's why I didn't. I am really excited to read this one though, and I will definitely be picking up sooner rather than later. It's a different story, obviously different characters, things like that, but I think it takes place in the same world as Shadow Prince. With her death foretold, Althea Zoltaire only has 3 years to become what she's always dreamed of being, a warrior legend. Women are forbidden to wield blades, so she is trained in secret her entire life. Now racing against the clock, she fights to secure her place in the elite guild with the protection of the 5 kingdoms. Sounds like it's gonna be stabby. We love that. And then the last of the Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers that I haven't read yet, I picked up Slaying the Shifter Prince by Claire Sager. These books are just so pretty. They're so pretty, and I can't wait to have them all sitting on my shelf together. I think there's actually one more, but I don't know if it has the discreet cover yet, so I'll probably wait on it. I really wanted to get to this one in March. It didn't happen. It would have been a ton of points for team creation, but that's okay. She's willing to sacrifice anything for revenge, but she thought she was only gambling with her life, not her heart. This one sounds like it's going to be a little bit more romance heavy than it is fantasy heavy, but I've heard really good things about it from people who also like the more fantasy aspect of things. Full of claws, curses, and a deadly game of cat and mouse, this twisted reimagining of Beauty and the Beast. Oh, I didn't know this was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Now I'm even more excited. Okay, and then I also picked up Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. This is a horror book that everyone was talking about last year, I think. Or maybe it was earlier this year. What is time at this point, honestly? And this just sounds so creepy and unsettling, and I'm very much in the mood for that. This is about a couple who gets the housing lottery, and so they get to stay in this really nice apartment for much cheaper, and the problem is that it's not accessible. And when she had their baby, she was left paralyzed, and so she obviously needs wheelchair accessibility. The house or the apartment that they end up staying at, like, it's just very uneasy. Like, it's very unsettling. There is like, you know, paranoia that, you know, people are odd, that kind of thing. He can't explain the needle-like bite marks on the baby. Kind of feels like it's gonna be Lock Every Door vibes, which is one of my favorite Riley Sagers. So I'm very excited about this one. And then I found on Pango, this is my one that may not stay on my TBR, but I am gonna like keep it around. That my copies don't match, but this person did not know what they had, because I found the out of print copy of Heartless by Elsie Silver for $15. These are like $40 to $50 usually on Pango, so if nothing else I will just resell it. But for now it's gonna sit on my shelf. This is the second book, I believe, in this like Canadian cowboy romance series that everyone is talking about. I know there's a read along happening for it, for the series, and you know, I might join it. I can't promise, because here's the thing, I'm really bad at buddy reads. I'm so bad at them. I want to be better, but it's just not something that like I'm great at, unfortunately. So we'll see. We'll see. The FOMO may end up getting to me. And then I skipped my aardvark box for March, but I did get 3 books for book of the month because the book of the year finally came in. So the book of the year nominee that I got was Sharkheart by Emily Habeck, because the one that won book of the year was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I am not interested in that book in the slightest. But this is kind of a like sci-fi lit fic story, which doesn't seem like it would normally be my cup of tea, but this is just sounds like such an interesting concept about like this disease that people have where they literally turn into animals. And this man is married and they're going about their day and their like life, and you know, instead of getting a cancer diagnosis, you get this diagnosis, and like he slowly becomes a shark. And obviously their lives have to kind of separate as he has to, you know, go into the water and things like that. So it sounds really weird. And I don't know, I'm in the mood for weird books at this point. And then the 2 new releases that I got for March, the first one was Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. I don't think that they had the greatest options for books this month, but you had to get it. You had to get one in order to get your book of the year. It was a whole thing. So this is the one that I chose. What if you thought you murdered your best friend, and if everyone else thought so too? And what if the truth doesn't matter? It also has like headphones, or like a headphone jack, and I'm wondering if it has like a podcast element. Yeah, Listen for the Lie podcast with Ben Owens, Maya's interview unedited segment. So this is one that I'll definitely be trying to find on audio, because I really love podcast stories, podcast thrillers. They are like a really interesting subgenre of thriller. And then I shouldn't have done this. I should not have done this, but I got another Simone St. James. This is Murder Road. This is her newest book, and Simone St. James is so hit or miss. Usually she's like 3.5 stars, like across the board. I don't know, I don't think I've ever really loved one of her books. I think the concept of her books are really good, but she never can stick the landing. But we're gonna try again with this one because I've heard good things about it. Okay, so we are adding 11 books onto the TBR, which is actually what we took off of it. So we're back to 267. We have done literally nothing. I've been, you know, working my tail off for nothing. It's fine. Like I said, I will be doing an unhaul, so that number will be dropping it down. I would definitely like to see it below 250 after that unhaul, but I will update you. We'll see. I gotta do something. Like, I like having choices. That's the thing. I like having choices. And when I look at my shelves, I want to read like 90% of these books. So, there's, I don't know, it feels counterintuitive to say like, oh, I need to have less than 200 books on my TBR. But then also when I look at these books, I want to read them. But I also know that like, if it's more than 200, I'm not going to read them in a year. Like, they're going to sit on my shelves for more than a year, and then my reading taste could potentially change. That's the struggle that I have right now. So that's why I'm trying to get it below 200. Will it ever happen? I don't know. I don't know. The constant struggle of being a booktuber. Let me know down in the comments below a book that you are interested in, that I hauled, that you want to see me read sooner rather than later. Maybe we'll bump it up to the top. And if you're not feeling chatty, do a car emoji. That is all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!